Hello, sir. It is so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me, everybody. Everyone feeling good?
Yeah.
I said to Darren, how you feeling? He said, tired. I can see that. Peg, you do extraordinary work as chair here. Let's get up for Peg Schaefer. Xenon and the rest of your team, this is a county which is a pleasure to come to. I come here often. I've been coming here for the past going on 3 years. And I love coming here, and I love coming here today. I've gotten to know Darren. I now know not only his wife and his kids, but his mom and dad, who are here today. This guy is going to make a terrific sheriff of this county. And the position of sheriff has never been more important, given all that we're dealing with as a country. So this is a very consequential position, and Darren, you're going to be great at it. We got to all help him sprint through the tape on Tuesday, because we got 3 days to go. Those are 3 very valuable days. And Doug is a terrific freeholder candidate. And you know what, Doug? We may get them looking the other way and steal that one back, but it's because you're a very special guy. So God bless you guys. And I'd say the same thing on Peter Jenkins. I don't think that they're prepared for the quality of the candidate that we've got. And frankly, we may catch them looking the other way. And Peter, we're with you, and we're going to help you run through the tape on Tuesday as well. So let's hear it for you. And by the way, lots of local races with huge consequence in this county. And as Peg and I have discussed, this is a potential wave election. Now, it's tightened nationally, but that still doesn't mean in New Jersey it is tightened. And so we've got a lot of communities in Somerset County where they've got control, we've got quality candidates, we're trying to reach in and rip a couple seats back from them. And then we've got a few communities, a few townships where we've got our candidates as incumbents, and they're trying to reach in and pull them from us, and we got to defend them. We've got more of the former than the latter, but that means we've got big potential for pickup here. And you know what? I'm a Howard Dean guy. Howard Dean was in New Jersey last week for us, God bless him. And he taught me the whole 50-state strategy thing, which is, by the way, for me, the 21-county thing. And so we're speaking the same language in Somerset County, I guarantee you that. The whole ballot counts. Frankly, as you get closer to the ground, closer to the bottom, you're closer to what really impacts citizens and communities more than what happens at the top in many respects. But that every position on that ballot counts, every vote counts, and there's no better county in this state right now that can embody that sort of Howard Dean notion of a wave election with big pickups both locally and right up the top of the ballot. So I take my hat off to each and every one of you. And to all of our local candidates, let's get it up for you all, because you deserve it. I will try, but I cannot match the quality of the rhetoric with which Peg started and talked about what's at stake next Tuesday at the very top of the ballot. But I will try in my own small way to capture it from my vantage point. I do think that, I said this earlier in Newark today, this is an election for the soul of America. And the choices could not be starker. This is not, we're not saying, Mitt Romney, frankly, I didn't agree with him on most stuff, but he wasn't a bad guy. He loved his country. He's qualified. Our guy was better.
He was a Republican.
He was a Republican, right? By the way, how's our guy doing, huh? Let's hear it for the President of the United States of America. I must now quote him in his new sort of tagline. Come on, man! Come on, man! I love that. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, we have come to hold the guy on the other side against Hillary Clinton. I've lived in Germany twice in my life, and I say this with great gravity, and unfortunately, it can be verified. I've lived in Germany as a private citizen and as the United States ambassador to Germany. I'm a student of German history. You can fill in the blank on what people said about somebody else in the 1920s and 30s in Germany that they're saying about Donald Trump today. And let us not make any doubt about that. You can fill in the blank. Please God, the drama and the story doesn't end the way it ended there. But that's what we're dealing with. And then on our side, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Somebody, somebody who is being held up to a standard unlike any standard ever applied to any candidate ever to run for president in our country's history. Literally, that she's got to be perfect. You know, emails, schleemails, whatever it might be, the focus is constantly on what she's not as opposed to what she is. And so I was thinking to myself, forget about pre-World War II in Germany. Let's talk about post-World War II in America. Harry Truman, a hayseed, I quote the common wisdom at the time, from Missouri, gets elected and turns out to be a great American president. John Kennedy, father has too much money, bought the election, too young, landed gentry, beats Richard Nixon by less than 120,000 votes. Not a perfect candidate, a great president. Lyndon Johnson gets elected in a landslide in a C-shift election like we hope we'll see this year, and puts through the Great Society, many elements of which we live off to this very day, but certainly a flawed human and a flawed candidate. Jimmy Carter, a peanut farmer from Georgia, and all the noise around then, an outstanding president. Bill Clinton, you see the 1988 Democratic Convention where he gave the keynote speech? It was so long, people were giving him hand signals to get off the stage. He was both the youngest governor ever elected in our country and the youngest governor ever to lose in this country. And he went on to be a two-term outstanding president of the United States. And I remember hearing Barack Obama's name for the first time in 2003. He'd just gotten his doors blown off by Bobby Rush in a primary for the House of Representatives in Chicago. He's got that funny name. He was one of 7 running for the Senate, the U.S. Senate in 2004, and he was viewed to be dead last in those 7. On this one, I'd say he may not be perfect, but he's pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. And of course, he's an extraordinary president. And he right now, for all the Republicans talk about Reagan, his ratings right now dwarf what Reagan's ratings were in November of his last year as president, for good reason. So those are all, I say all that because those are all imperfect candidates, all Democrats, and what do they have in common? We elected them. And they all did a darn good job as President of the United States of America. And now along comes a woman who is being held up to a standard. Well, let me just say with all respect to Truman, Kennedy, Johnson, Carter, Clinton, and Obama, she is the most qualified candidate we have ever put forward for President of the United States of America. And let's not forget that. I met her, I shook hands with her first on the campus of Wellesley College, her alma mater, when she was First Lady of Arkansas. And even before then, when she had gone to Wellesley and Yale Law School, she was working on behalf of children and women and healthcare. That's been a consistent theme in her life, typically with no credit, typically out of the limelight, even as First Lady in Arkansas. She extended that work as First Lady of the United States and laid the tracks down for what ultimately is the closest thing we've ever gotten to universal health care today. She went on to become an extraordinary senator in New York, including in very difficult moments, in particular after 9/11, where she did great work. She's not run for president once, she's run twice, and history will prove that she probably lost to one of the greatest presidents and campaigners of all time, and almost beat him. She is now our nominee. She was my boss as Secretary of State. So I know her as a boss. She's the best boss I've ever had. So all the stuff we read about her is written by people who don't know her, who haven't worked for her, who don't understand how good she is. And here she is now as our nominee for President of the United States, and all I can say to you is how lucky are we. We've never had someone more qualified. But we can't wish this to happen. We can't hope it to happen. We got to get on the streets and make sure we vote it to happen on Tuesday. And I would say to you, I think, Peg, we have to both walk and chew gum at the same time. Meaning we have to get the vote out in a big way in places like Somerset County. But for all of us who have friends in other states in the country or family, we got to get on the phone. We got to make sure we're making sure she wins in places like Pennsylvania, which is the easiest place for all of us to get to between now and Tuesday. That she's winning in North Carolina and Virginia and Florida and Ohio and Michigan, where it's gotten closer, unfortunately, or Nevada, Arizona, Missouri. All places. If anyone has anyone in those states or any of the other battleground states, don't leave any stone not unturned. Turn every single stone over. So again, we got to walk, meaning we got to crush it here in Somerset County and get the whole ballot across the goal line. But we got to chew gum. We got to make sure we're either getting on a bus or we're calling people. Peg doesn't want us leaving. We use the phones, emails, whatever it takes. Make sure that you leave no stones unturned. I'm so honored to be here with you this afternoon. God bless you all. Let's go out there and kick some complete butt on Tuesday.